Hey Ken. All right, let's begin. So, uh, as usual, I'm just going to read off my feedback notes and I'll pause in between to just um, gather my thoughts for each one. Because I actually have a lot more feedback notes than I expected for this one. Like, I knew that I would have a lot, but anyway. All right, so the first thing I want to say is thank you so much for your feedback about the videos. Every time you give me a different piece of feedback, it really helps because it just encourages me to improve my method of listening and going in and extracting the kind of feedback that actually resonates, that is effective. So thank you so much. Okay, so then the next one is, so we're going to go in, attention, appreciation, and amplification. And I didn't pull each point that you did for homework, so I'll just be saying attention before each one. Okay, so for one of the points of attention, I wrote down, always doing your inner work so thoroughly, finding more inner gems, and also new levels on already realized gems. Then I had on the point of processing why London. I wanted you to pay attention to your feedback about the effects of the colonization and the social graces. We also have to see on the other side of the spectrum how that has forced integration. So while there's positive integration that has obviously occurred, there is hurtful integration. It's caused a lot of feigned closeness, abuse of familiarity, abuse of roles and dynamics of the way we relate. It leaves us being so close, but still no effective or efficient intimacy. And it brings me back to the song by Sinead called Rebel Song. And I don't know if you know it, you could just look it up. I can send you a link to it. I can put it below. But what I take from that song relative to your feedback is there's a line where she says, how come you never say you're sorry? I do. And I'm saying that there are many times when we've been forced to say sorry for all kinds of things in our ways of relating as we're learning ourselves and each other, exploring life. And so now it's a good time to go over times where you've said sorry in connecting, in intimacy, where you really didn't mean sorry because that sorry was actually saying sorry for being who I am. And of course, if that's not the case, then okay, that's wonderful. But it just to be thorough, that's why we're here. So saying sorry lovingly, going over it again and really seeing where, I am sorry about that lovingly to myself, lovingly to the person involved, and lovingly taking full credit for your investment as well with zero guilt. So I'm sorry for this, and as well, I take full credit and responsibility for this. This is what I have invested. This is what I have taken. You're right. You do deserve this. I'm right. I do deserve this. Okay. And then for appreciation, under the same topic of the colonization, the London reflection, came what I did tell you that I liked in real time when you had processed it. Just that ease of integration, which is definitely a relief coming from that space, coming from the space of traveling from America to London, literally, and coming from the Caribbean in America all the time. So absolutely, yes, totally get it, London, or what you have so far processed, not having to explain your point of view, where you are coming from emotionally, with gesticulations, and geographically, less superficial conversation off the bat when you're meeting someone because they know where you're coming from. So that was a wonderful observation. Also bringing it deeper into all involved while having conversations are clearly hurt and empowered to the same extent, in a generalizing, because you understand where people are coming from. But still, I want us to move further from that good point into still all of those involved being focused on fulfillment. So yes, we can see where we're coming from, but let's genuinely look at where we're going to. Okay. All right. So then, on the topic of why did I stay so long in that conversation? Why did I listen? Why did I stay listening to him for so long? And you said I got played, and so my response to that was, it is so powerful to be able to see it and say it from a place of power and self-awareness and choice, that you chose to sit there and observe the dynamics, sort of in an outer body experience within the conversation, just like, wow, like this is really how far you have come, this is how far we have come. Seeing where he is and his ability to respectfully connect to women, like in an inventory way on a scale of 1 to 10. What is his ability to connect respectfully in intimacy to women to date? Seeing your energy leave him no choice but to be honest, even if what he was being honest about was not the ultimate most comfortable thing. It was interesting to see that he was able to be honest about his stage of maturity, of emotional intelligence, of intimacy, and of, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much he really believes in love. All right, so that topic is done. And now we're moving on to, again in attention, we're paying attention to lovingly connecting the outer home space and the inner work and inner home space, when you had presented to me the choice you've made about your self-care and your body's changes. The power to take control, to choose to design your body, to prune and purge and grant yourself the relief. Specifically talking about the liposuction. So with zero, so I'm saying that's very good that you've actually made that choice. And I want you to pay attention to having zero care for any hurtful judgment of anyone who's like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Like, that's really my business. So yeah. And to really use that as a litmus test to see who you are genuinely nervous to tell, to whatever extent, just note it for yourself. You could be wrong, because even between us, you were like, oh my gosh, I did something crazy, but it was good, I think, for you to be able to tell me that and see my genuine response. I think it is an extremely powerful choice. You know, we are divine beings on earth, and we have the power to create and co-create and design body, mind, and soul, and to add and subtract as we please, as we need, as we see fit. And I'm really proud of you for making that choice in a world that is so critical about it, and hypocritically so. So what I do want you to pay attention to, however, within that dynamic, moving on to the fact that we are there now, and this procedure has been done, I want you to make sure you take care of the biochemical and emotional component of how your body and your being stores emotions, weight, and burden outside of the direct responsibility to take proper rest and care and continued release. Because I did like how you said you got more than you bargained for, and I was thinking the whole time, because you deserved that. You deserved more than you bargained for in a positive, cute, sexy, sensual, relieving, whatever the words you'd use in that way, because you have definitely taken on more than you have bargained for in hurtful, negative ways, taking on responsibilities in different roles overall, and in the pressures of what you have been through, you have definitely taken on the weight of more than you bargained for. So why not release that in the exact equivalent to an extent that you really, really like? So I'm really excited about it. Appreciation from that point. Again, I want to reiterate, I really want you to feel great about your decision, and a fill in the blank homework option would be, I am really glad I allowed myself to do this because, and then you can do your 17 wheel on what comes to you genuinely from that point of view. Okay, now we're moving into, oh wait, I still have more. Okay, then amplification within the space of the procedure being done is, I had done some research, like I had said, and I still intend to do more, and we can discuss more throughout time. But I did see that they encourage lymph massages, so you can look and see on your trips if you can get any done, because it would be a good idea to circulate and the lymphatic system and allow for more and more drainage of all kinds of waste and stress that we don't see, because any weight that was put on because of stress, you still deal with stress primarily in the same way, even if we have done a lot of work and you have changed a lot. And that's why it's hard to keep the body as it is after these kinds of procedures. So, just raw and explicitly, we do need to maintain the body in that specific way, and we have to think of gentle, genuine, comfortable, joyful ways of maintaining the new design, body, mind, and soul, heart response, and response ability, being comfortable with what we can really afford to give, oranges in the bucket, etc. Okay, now within that, so that's all within you. Now, relative to that, but relative to the family, I wanted to say that I wanted to pay attention to the family coming through for you, and to celebrate. Now, when I teach celebrate, I break it down into cell, ebb, rate, flow. So I say we celebrate flow. So there's ebb and flow in the cells of our bodies and the way we rate our input and output. So you might have to rewind that again to listen to that last part. But I want to celebrate your flow, celebrate flow, which means on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about the family coming through for you and your ability to allow yourself to put yourself in a position to see exactly how much they would come through for you based on all the oranges in the bucket issues that we have had? The part of you that allowed yourself to find out, that is very strong, and that is a point of relief. And it's one of my favorite things about you, because you're always able to just say, okay, what is the inventory? What do we have to do? And so now that you've allowed yourself all this rest, it's like you've gone a step further. Okay, you've done all this work, and how much rest and redesigning do I really need? And you are totally in sync, in alignment with that journey. So I'm really proud of you on that one. Which brings me to the next point, amplification. Appreciation, which is the time off, taking the time off. I wanted to say, what is it? You had said that it gave you time to reflect on how alone you are, etc. To which I say, I'm asking, what is the purpose and power of having been alone all this time, in a positive way, in and on your own for this long? What has been the purpose and power of that? You can say, I've needed this because, I realize I've needed this because it has served me in this way. I feel I'm ready for this season to be done. So declare the lesson learned. Okay, and then I'm ready to receive explicitly fulfilling partnerships now that I realize I need, and you fill in the blanks. What is it you realize you need? Now, be very mindful not to do this in a way of what women say they want, what people say they want, what men say they want, what partnerships are supposed to look like, but really based on life experience. What have you found really resonates that you realize you need? And enjoying needs, enjoying desires, enjoying wants, enjoying fulfillment matrices and the variables that we use to fill that in. Sidebar, totally enjoying my takeaways from this weekend and this concept of building fulfillment matrices, which is something that I have been working on for the last 2 months relative to Sacred Dialogue. So that was extremely succinct. Okay, moving on to amplification on the external internal dynamic. There's something I teach called temperance, mastery, assurance, saturation. So it is temperance, which is giving in and out in balance, and also being well tempered based on the emotion that is required for a situation that you're going in. So you've mastered your tempering of yourself. And assurance, saturation. So when you give the correct emotional intelligence response for something, then you are assured, you're highly assured. So you have assurance, saturation in all dynamics, all aspects, all relationships. So I want to give it to you as a point of amplification that you have in explaining your 17 story all over again, that coming to America story all over again this time around, realizing how you have been economizing externally and internally from 17 to now so masterfully, but that has taken an effect, and that you are resting now, and you will continue to excel in divine economy of how you relate in intimacy from the space of restfulness, sensuality, receptivity, attention to devotion and adoration being given and received in a fluid exchange. So that is really nice. Saying things like, I can rest, I can play wildly now, I've got this, I realize I've got this, I've always had this, but giving it to yourself. If I could say that to every client, every day, every kin, every day, all day long, say it to myself, realizing why I don't give it to myself enough all the time. We all have to. I am relieved to observe my receptivity to attention, adoration, and devotion, fun, sensuality, sensual expression, sensual exploration. So as a point of amplification, I'd like to ask, what have been your best sensual expression memories to date? So if one comes to mind as I say that, write that down, tell me the story. If you're not ready to tell me the story yet, tell yourself the story on a voice note, and you tell it to me when you're ready to share it. If the answer is, oh my gosh, I have never had a wonderful sensual expression experience, that's okay. I have none, and I'm open to exploring. That would be the answer. So let's see where we are with that. Okay, that moves us into another point of attention, which is the date and the whole graphic design conversation, and hearing yourself say, and I held my own. Hearing you say that work-wise, I held my own work-wise. I also want to give it to you that you pay attention to the fact that you held your own love-wise. In that you were able to declare with total ease and total respect for you and person involved that it didn't resonate, beyond what it did. So, that wasn't there, but what was there was this, and it was a great experience. So, more of realizing where you are aware of what resonates love wise, you are aware of where you have held your own love wise, and we move on from that through that focus, through that lens of perception, through that the way of interpretation, and from that perspective vantage point. So we're filling in fulfillment matrices, and basically, what is the criteria for you to be in fulfillment love wise? What have you already received that you like in intimate relationships? What do you see lovers doing that you like? And I cannot stress anymore. I mean, I can and I will stress over and over again. Rest. Admitting how much life has taken from you, admitting what the effects of realizing where relations to date have not been filled with devotion and adoration, and being able to admit that with ease and kindness for self is a surgery of sorts. And so it's important to restfully be in admission and celebrating flow. That you're open now. I didn't realize where we were all moving in depletion because we all didn't really believe in love because of the system, the dynamics, the 9 to 5, the hustle and bustle, the doggy dog, blah, 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 all of that. There's also a component to pay attention to where we have all participated or realized resentment and contempt on the inside as it relates to the process of creating conditions to prove that we can survive and thrive alone if we need to, because that homelessness is always being threatened, if not unspoken within the family dynamics and in relationship dynamics with ultimatums, with the job system, the capitalist system that we're all working through, working around. And sometimes we end up going through the unconditionals and glorifying the unconditionals and our ability to say things like, well, I turned out all right. You turned out alive, not necessarily all right. This is for everybody, really having to see that, and where we have participated in not glorifying our own investment, what it has taken from us, our diligence. And it has left us with zero self-honor and self-adoration in an effective way. But now that you're able to see that, it's not just that you're going to run in that direction and like, yeah, now I finally realize where I've been depleted. Let me just go get filled up. That there's an emotional toll it takes on you to realize, oh my God, like after all these years, I am not fulfilled. Like I really thought that if I did this, and this, that I would be fulfilled, not just surviving, and that reflection takes rest. You have to rest in that and give it to yourself that it takes a certain amount of courage, which in French breaks down to the power of the heart's passion to see something. I'm like really poetically adding my interpretation there. Okay, so appreciation from that point where I link all of what I've just said to the concept of surgery in general and life changes in general, realizing that all this rest is a healing from the surgery of life's changes and life's transforming agents, as in people and circumstances and issues, and life's transforming agency, which is the way life has with us to transform us, and saying, I trust and enjoy the relationship I have with my body and my being. Because you had said, when someone had asked you about the effects of it on you, you had said, my body tells me. And I thought that was extremely powerful, and I want to appreciate that. And I want you to just like to hug yourself and give thanks to yourself, because not many people know that their body tells them, to be in the hustle and bustle of life in the way you are and to still be so in tune with your body. That that is tremendous courage and effort. Okay, the amplification point from that would be in the space where you said that you were paranoid about the scar. I want to say that to an extent, if it all goes away, then okay, great. But if it doesn't, I see it as a badge of your ability to move in optimal level choices. And I look forward to the day that if there is a scar, physical scar remaining, that someone can kiss it and know that that was a point where you had said, I am comfortable now. And it's just a marker of things that happened along the way, being able to make the best decisions thoroughly at all costs for your goodness and for you to feel really good, body, mind, soul, physical, etc. That all of it included, no steps missed. Now that I allow myself to balance all responsibility masterfully, joyfully, sensually, fun, and in a cute way by my own measure. So yeah, I think that's that part. And then the very last point of amplification is, again, just reiterating that I always appreciate the way that you're able to you're keeping on facing the balance of facing the whole spectrum of emotion when it comes to your own comfort, what it really means. When you really want to be comfortable, you're so able to do that. And it's just, I had just said it before, but I want to say it again. You had spoken about pursuing that sensual intimacy, that relationship dynamic, and you said, now that I am comfortable. And I wanted to let's go into that. I want to ask, what do you currently attribute that comfort to? And to do a 17 wheel on it, like, I realize I'm comfortable now because I'm more comfortable now because what makes you so comfortable now? And for the birthday focus moving forward to a year to date, what I'm projecting for us to celebrate is your resonance based on what you had described that you wanted. And for us to be able to be in a space of developing that comfort in your measures of tonal intimacy and receptivity, to be in right relation with yourself, in actuality, and to only partner with all relationship styles, family, work, friendships, and of course intimate sensual partnerships in a way that sounds good, feels good, and is a measure of your soundness. Okay. Oh, and I had pulled some cards for you for the energy for the reading, energy for this our session, and what I should share. And so this one is Two of Cups, which is making sure that you are in a space of balance in friendships and being a friend to yourself, which I thought was really nice. Death card means accepting the fullness of all transformations that are necessary and all rebirths that are necessary. And Justice, which is justice. I mean, it speaks for itself, and we just had the Libra full moon, so it's explicit justice in all ways of relating, in all decisions. Let that sword be drawn, let those lines be drawn, let the truth speak, let the truth live and dance, let the truth make love. Okay, this is a long one, so enjoy, and we will talk really soon. Take care.